I don't disagree, but what do you say to people who say Paul go to the synagogue just to preach the gospel? That's a great question. The first thing I would do is quote to them Acts 24:14. Let's go to it. I do confess to you, however, that I worship the God of our fathers according to the way which they call a sect. I believe everything that is laid down by the law and written in the prophets. So first off right there, he's attesting to himself that he follows the law. Then I would highlight in Acts 19 and 20, Paul is trying to go to Jerusalem to keep the feast. In Acts 20, verse 6, Paul and his companions observe the Feast of Unleavened Bread. 10 verses later, in Acts 20, verse 16, Paul wants to hasten to Jerusalem, so he sails past Ephesus because he wants to keep Pentecost. Pentecost is Strong's 4005 and refers to a Jewish festival, Shavuot. Next, I would cite Acts 21, which I will read in a moment in the next part of this response. And we'll see that once again, Paul is keeping the law. Unless we're calling Paul a liar by Acts 24, he keeps the law. But we'll let his actions in Acts 21 even speak louder than his words in Acts 24. Part 2 on Paul followed the law. As we discussed in the last part, Paul was going to Jerusalem to keep the feasts, and he kept the Feast of Unleavened Bread on his journey. Paul arrives in Jerusalem in Acts 21:17, which I will read, and it will show you that Paul followed the law. And this is the Berean literal translation. Now, of our having arrived at Jerusalem, the brothers received us gladly, and on the following day Paul went in with us unto James, and all the elders arrived. And having greeted them, they began to relate one by one, the things God had done amongst the Gentiles through his ministry. And those, having heard, began glorifying God. And they said to him, You see, brother, how many myriads there are among the Jews having believed, and are all zealous ones for the law, capital L. Now they have been informed about you, that you teach all Jews among the Gentiles apostrophe from Moses, telling them not to circumcise the children, nor walk in the customs. What then is it? Certainly they will hear that you have come. Therefore do this that we say to you. With us there are 4 men having taken a vow on themselves. Having taken these men, be purified with them, and bear expense on them, so that they shave the head, and all will know that of which that has been informed about you is nothing, but that you yourself are also walk orderly, keeping the law. And then he did those things.